guys, Ambience here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to beat Night 2 on Five Nights at Freddy's. This is a night that I see a lot of beginning players struggle with, and even some experienced players actually die here, like when they're attempting their deathless runs. Then I have seen some experienced players occasionally get caught off guard here, so this is one that I definitely felt that I needed to make a guide on. It is still relatively easy, but it introduces you to a lot more stress because Foxy starts becoming a bigger threat, obviously, and Bonnie gets really strong also on this night for some reason. By the end of the night, his AI level is 6, which is actually higher than it is, I think, on night 3 and possibly night 4 as well by 4 a.m. So, let's go ahead and look at the camera monitor here. Bonnie is already gone. He is in the dining area. And we're going to be spending the majority of this night focused on Cam 1C, Pirate Cove. Let me go ahead and mute this phone call real quick. And this night is really where we're going to start to get into the rhythm of the game. And even though it's not the exact same rhythm that we're going to be using for every single night, it's still a really good chance to practice your repetition because it does contain a lot of the parts of the various strategies that you're going to be doing throughout the rest of the run. So the strategy that we're going to be using for night 2 is we're going to pull up the camera every 4 to 5 seconds. Foxy's now peeking out because I didn't do it enough while I was talking. So our rhythm's going to be pull up the camera for about, pull up the camera every 4 to 5 seconds and only leave it open for about 1 second. You don't actually need to leave the camera open for a long time at all. And check the left light, check the right light, pull up the camera, close it, right light, left light, camera, close it. So we're just going to repeat this. An alternative strategy, it might actually be better to do. It's not quite as effective, I think, on night 2, but it would probably be better since this is the strategy that we use for 420 mode. It really gets you into the rhythm of 420 mode, is to... Whoop, there's Bonnie. Let's go ahead and close this. And real quick, while Bonnie's here, there's something else that I wanted to point out that I forgot to mention last time. If you check the light here and you see this shadow on the wall right here, the window is the first place you should look. It's gone now, but you guys saw what it looked like. If that shadow's there, Bonnie's still outside your door. If you turn on the light and it's just a hallway, then he's not there. It's okay to open it. So, most players already know this, but I thought it was good to bring it up just in case, because a lot of newer players may not notice yet if they haven't watched gameplay footage on the game or haven't paid very close attention. Because obviously everyone knows how to see Chica. You're like, oh, okay, you know, Chica's peering through the window. I can see that even with the door closed. But not a lot of people know how to actually tell if Bonnie's still outside the door or not. Foxy is pretty close to leaving Pirate's Cove because I haven't been checking the camera nearly as much as I should have because of how much I've been talking. And what I was saying earlier, one strategy that you can use on this night to help kind of prepare you for 420 mode, which of course is the ultimate goal of this game, is instead of doing this where you check the left light, check the right light, pull the camera down, then you do both the lights again, what you can instead do is pull up the camera, check the right light, and just do this pattern, basically, like only checking one of the lights and then pulling up the camera. And if you do it quick enough, then you're still not going to let Bonnie or Chica in, if you do it quick enough. And this is sort of a modified version of the strategy that I like to use on 420 mode, one of the 2 strategies, and by far the easier one. So if you guys want to get an early start on kind of developing your mechanics, then you can use this strategy as well. But a less mechanically taxing and probably an overall safer way to do it is to just do this. So this is the strategy I'm going to be using for the remainder of the night. As long as you're continuously pulling up the camera, you don't have anything to worry about with Foxy. If you're paying attention, and pulling up the camera consistently, which I wasn't doing earlier, these curtains should still be closed. Like, if I was doing this in an actual run, those curtains would still be closed. So, you guys shouldn't have any problem with Foxy as long as you're doing this pattern and you're checking the camera consistently. And, in fact, if you want to try to figure out where Bonnie and Chica are so that you can save some power checking the lights, then what you can actually do is, here's Chica, right? So, I'm going to close the camera. I know I don't need to check the right light now. Something interesting about Foxy is that you actually don't need to be looking at his camera in order to stall him. You can be looking at any camera. As long as you have the camera monitor up, Foxy will be stalled. The only reason that we use Pirate's Cove for this night is because there's nothing else we have to keep an eye on, really, like Freddy, for example. So, it's okay to just keep it on Pirate's Cove and see how close Foxy is to actually leaving the curtains, which is even more important now that he actually is close. So, I'm going to switch back to Pirate's Cove real quick. But yeah, you actually don't need to have the camera on Pirate's Cove to stall Foxy, which plays into one of the strategies that we're going to be using for 420 mode, so keep that in mind. It's now 3 a.m., so if I remember correctly, I may not be entirely accurate on this, but I believe the AI levels right now are 0, 5, I want to say. Yeah, 0, 5, and I think 2 and 2. So Bonnie is the most active of the animatronics by far right now. He just showed up at the door a second ago. And Bonnie is going to show up at your door multiple times this night, but he will leave a lot quicker than night 1 most of the time. So you won't be using as much power as you were using on night 1 to keep him out on a single attempt. So that's nice. So yeah, we just keep using the strategy, just get used to the rhythm of everything. Light, camera, pull the camera down quickly. Light, camera, light, camera is the alt strategy you can use. Light, camera, light, camera, or alternatively, light, camera. Just get used to the rhythm of it. The reason I'm repeating it so much, I know it's a little annoying, but it's just to drill it into your head and make sure that you really know the strategy that you're doing and how to repeat it. You should be having this in your head. This should be one of the #1 things that's in your head is, what is my strategy? Like, what do I need to repeat? What parts of it do I need to repeat no matter what? And what parts of it are situational? The only situational thing right now that I think is, okay, if I hear a noise and I see an animatronic right here, then close the door. That's really the only thing I would have to adapt here to, because I know Foxy's not going to leave Pirate's Cove. If he did, obviously, if these curtains were empty, I would avoid switching to the West Hall, and I would close the door. And real quickly, how Foxy works is, if you look at Cam 1C, you'll see the curtains are open, Foxy's left. 25 seconds after he leaves, then he will sprint down the West Hall and he will kill you. So you have about, I'd say 26.5 seconds probably in total after he leaves Pirate's Cove to close the door. And if you check the West Hall at any point while those curtains are open, he will come sprinting down the West Hall immediately, leaving you with a very limited time to close the door. So I would never, under any circumstances, recommend checking the West Hall. There's no reason to. Like, even if Bonnie's there on the early nights, if Foxy's remotely close to sprinting, then there's no reason to check the West Hall. If the curtains are closed, then you're probably fine, but if he's remotely close to sprinting, then he definitely can kill you. Another audio cue that tends to play a lot is the sound of pots and pans clanking, which signals that Chica is in the kitchen. Chica is the only animatronic who makes that specific noise, even though she's not the only animatronic to enter the kitchen. So if you hear that noise, then you know that you don't need to check the right light until the noise stops. Got about 24% power left right now. There's Bonnie again. Bonnie showed up like 5 times this night already, so that just gives you an idea of how truly aggressive he is. And of course, it's 5 a.m., so at 4 a.m., every animatronic's AI level went up by 1, besides Freddy. So Bonnie's AI level is now at 6, which is actually higher, I believe, than it is at the start of night 5. So think about that. It's 5 a.m. and Bonnie's AI level on night 2 is higher than it is at 1 a.m. on night 5. Like, it's crazy to think about. He's so aggressive. And that's really what makes